Welcome to the Resonance Podcast. My name's Swarit and this is episode 1.
And my name is Ethan.
And in this episode we're going to be talking about the economics behind an F1 team. So let's get started. Before the team's made and everything, you gotta break down, because it's not that easy just to apply a form and then, okay, you've got an F1 team. So what this actually starts from is, from like what I know, it's you have to give a form for the FIA, and from there I think there's a £200 million fee, which is it isn't the full cost of running the team. That's just the first amount of money. I mean, little amount of money, if you want to say it like that, which says, okay, yes, we've locked in our money and we're not going to back away from this.
Yeah, basically you're like securing a place into Formula 1. As a team, you're not even counting anything. It's just basically how you start a team in Formula 1.
Yeah, and then after that, it's not that, okay, I've got the money, so I can do this. So the board of panel of F1, they also decide, will you actually, like, suppose Ethan, you're like an F1 team, and you want to be an F1 team. I'm the board of panels, and then you tell me, yeah, you've given the £200 million, and after that, you say, okay, can I be an F1 team? It's just not that easy. So what it starts off with is you give the money, and then we decide, as a team, will you add benefit to us?
Yeah, and most importantly, like it's not a one-person thing. Like, it's not one person like throwing out 200 million to start one. It's all about, you have different shareholders. So yeah, that's how they basically start a Formula 1 team.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got the team ready, and it's all been approved by the board. Now, what happens after that? Because obviously you don't have full knowledge of how an F1 team works. I mean, you might have like basics, like, okay, we need a car, we need a driver, we need a team. But where does this actually come from? So I think the initial stage is the R&D stage.
Yeah, so what is the R&D? Explain it.
So it's basically, so the board of the team. So suppose you've got F1 Team A, that's the team that's gone through all of the methods and have paid and locked their space in.
Yeah. And
from that, what happens? They get it. Like, you've got the owners, and then you've got like the stakeholders in the business, in like the team. So they create a panel which has like top economists and engineers, and from that, what they do is they make trade-offs and make it the point where should the money be invested, instead of will it be too expensive. So the first step of the R&D process is the opportunity cost and ROI filtering. So for those who don't know what ROI filtering is, it's return on investment, and it's basically when you've got the point where okay, we change out something in the car. So whatever part we change out, is it at that value that, okay, we can afford it? Suppose you've got a new floor which is £1 million, and it only gains, like, you only like make the car faster by 0.05 seconds, as compared to if you like change the front wing, and whereas that only cost 400k, and it makes the car faster by 0.04 seconds. So which part is more, I would say, more smarter? Which one would you choose? Because obviously you'd go with the front wing. It's only 0.01 second difference.
Yeah, so talking about ROI, yeah. So what is the budget cap that each teams have?
So often, let me read this stat out. It's £160 million for one team. So looking at the business of F1, that is a huge amount. But within that money, you can't always buy everything.
Does that include like everything, like of both cars in one team, like including?
Yes, everything that they can take. I mean, maybe a team might have, like, they might have more money than 160 million, but they can't invest that in because that's what it's been set at.
So let's talk about digital optimization. So computer fluid dynamics, which we called CFD, is basically essential for like the virtual wind tunnel.
Okay, let me get a better idea on this because I don't know much about F1. I don't know have you watched Cars 3? Yeah, and I think there was like a scene where they go to this new bit, where you've got all the training facilities. I think in that you see a scene where it's the cars, and they're in like a small. It's like I wouldn't say treadmill, but like I think that's the best way of describing it.
Yeah. So basically, what CFD does, it replaces the physical air testing, what we call the wind tunnel testing, and it basically uses computer simulation to simulate all the airflow and like the aerodynamic and stuff. So obviously, the good thing about it, it's obviously cheaper because building a wind tunnel is very, very expensive, and not even all the teams have it.
Yeah.
So, however, obviously, it's computer. Like something can go wrong with it. It's less accurate than the physical wind tunnel.
Yeah. So let me say this. When you mean it's cheaper, let me tell you like what cheaper means in the sense. It's the technology to get this is £2.5 million. So this might seem like a large amount of money.
Yeah, but when you think about it, a wind tunnel is 50 million.
Yeah. So again, if you go into this at that point.
Yeah.
So then the third stage of the R&D process is scale validation. So again, we talked about the wind tunnel. So once you've got that, as you said, it's £50 million. This £50 million is just for the equipment itself. Like suppose right now I've got this laptop.
Yeah.
Now this laptop itself for example, might only cost £50 million, but I need to plug into the charge every day. All of that is £1 million. So
1 million for electricity.
Yeah. So they do take large amounts of energy consumption, and maybe on one use it takes £1 million up. So you got to build this up from the 160 million you had. So the money's already started to get less and less. So these are the things you can't really avoid because you need them. So that's where you make compromises, maybe in the car parts. So we've talked about the costs of it, but what does it actually do? What does a wind tunnel do?
It basically do the same thing as what the virtual one does, but more accurately. So it can use for like measuring downforce, measuring the drag, and like how the airflow behaves in like certain speed and stuff. So teams have like in the past have really benefited from this equipment. So for example, like Red Bull, the racing team, they had like a very outdated one, and they do not have the money to like upgrade it to like more modern. So they like really struggle on testing new parts. So it's not like they can't make new parts, but like they just don't know how it physically work on track.
Yeah, this is like I'm going to give you another example. Is it like we've got a phone, but you're not going to implement that phone straight into the market unless you don't know, does it overheat, does it have good batteries, is the screen bright enough? Is it like that in that sense?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So after this step, after it's been done, you obviously need to be able to see if the car can like withstand immense pressure, because the cars do go quite fast. So what is this step called?
So yeah, this process is called stress testing. So we have 7 post rig, and 4 posts is under the wheels. So what we're testing is the car going over like bumps and curbs, so like they're around the tracks and stuff.
Yeah.
And those 3 posts is under the chassis of the car.
Yeah.
So basically we're stimulating the aerodynamic stuff and basically how the car works on the track.
Okay, so do you I've got this question because I don't know much about how the F1 works. Is it what are the bumps and curves? What do you mean by bumps and curves in an F1 track?
Bumps are like basically like uneven surfaces. So some track might not be perfect. Like if you're going like uphill, downhill, that affects everything. Like I don't know, suspension and stuff.
All of that gets accounted for in this testing process. Yeah. Okay. So I think what this also does, you can once you've done the testing part, it allows you as the team, you can replay the moments maybe that might not be the most accurate, and like again, if it's uphill or downhill, you hit a curb, and like obviously F1 cars go really fast.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe if it goes like 120 miles per hour in a game in Hungary, the rig, what it can do is it can replicate the same force it would have had
Yeah.
in that game. And yeah, let me if I go back and talk about the cost, it's 1.5 million pounds just to install, and I think it's like 3,000 pounds for a 1 day use. So you also got to limit how many days and how many hours to these testing processes, because obviously you also need to save enough money for like other car parts. Okay, so getting back to the car parts, it's most probably one of the biggest deciders of an F1 car. You take a Lego set. I mean, I think we've all played with Lego before. It's just a Lego set, but in real life scale. So I think I think you've got 14,000 individual parts, and probably more than that. So you have to build the car as light as possible, and you got to build it so it doesn't. You don't want it to build to last like 15-20 years. You need to build it for just like, I think it's around 2,000 miles, 2 to 3,000 miles, which it should last. Yeah, what is another important part of like the car parts?
Yeah, the first thing that came in my mind is the tyres.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only thing that is in contact with the road.
Yeah.
So all teams in Formula 1 have limited amount of them, and they only have fixed number per weekend, so it's all about strategy.
Yeah.
And the special thing is every F1 team uses the same brand of tyres, and that's Pirelli.
So is there only one supplier for the tyres?
There is only one supplier
Yeah,
for the tyres.
this brings in another economic concept of scarcity. So you've got only one supplier. So that supplier might charge you. I don't know the exact prices right now, but I think you can imagine it's £5,000 for one tire. The supplier, because there's only one, so you have to go to them.
Yeah.
They can set the prices, which creates a massive impact in your budget. So from the outside, a tire might just look rubber, but I think you probably have many more components to it. So
Yeah, so there is a couple of compounds of tyres used in Formula 1. So the first one is wet tyres. This is basically used when there's heavy rain on the track. That is basically the maximum limit that the race will still continue.
okay, do you have like different types of tires for like different places? Because if you're doing a race maybe in Europe, the track might be different. If you're doing it somewhere else, it might be different.
Yeah, this counts like different things like weather, temperature, and yeah, mainly temperature. If you like go to a place where it's very hot, you might want to use like a tire that lasts a bit longer, because like obviously like you don't want your tire to like go for like 5 laps and you have to change it. So yeah, we talk about wet tires. The other one that we have is Inter, which is basically like you can imagine like just light rain. The first surface is still wet, but like you still want like good traction.
Yeah.
But when the track is completely dry, we have 3 main types that we can use: is soft, medium, and hard compound. Basically, soft is the fastest tire.
Okay.
So it's fastest because of softest compound, but it lasts only 10 to 15 laps. So
okay. Again, I want to build on the point that the tires might essentially they're the most important part of the car, because if anything, suppose if a tire bursts, and hopefully not, but like it is possible that it could cause the car to go into or go into an accident. So again, this adds up costs, because this is all unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen in the game. So so we've talked about the R&D process, the material the car uses. We also got to think another important concept is okay, you've got a game in, I don't know, maybe
24 races.
You said 24 races a year. How do you get the car from one location to another?
So we're talking about transportation now, basically. So when we're moving a car and equipment in Formula One, so cars are like dismantled.
Yeah.
Basically, like you take everything off because it's really difficult to ship like a whole car to like because it's quite a big thing and there's a lot of moving parts. So like it's so easy to be damaged.
So do you have like one car per team? Like how many?
No, we have two cars.
So you've got two cars.
Two drivers, so one for each driver.
So that's double the cost again.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think the cars can be transported by road or by like trucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the race is international, and then you need planes, and that costs around. So these parts are also really specifically made for the car.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they have special crates to put those car parts in.
Yeah.
And I think the crates cost around £2.5k pounds.
Yeah, the crates are really important because you don't want any of the stuff to be damaged. You have to get replaced. Like, for example, like the front wing of a car is very fragile. It's made of carbon fiber. And maybe the rear wing, there's a lot of movable parts, like what we call the DRS, if you know about it. It's the drag reduction system. Unfortunately, it's gone in 2026, but yeah, what the DRS do is it opens up the rear wing for higher speed and allowing cars to overtake. And yeah, that's a mechanical part of it. You don't want it to break.
Yeah, so if you got these specific parts, replacing the part, if it gets damaged, is very expensive. And from this money, so as I said at the start, you've got maybe £160 million. From that money, I'm pretty sure you also have to keep like part of the money as like an emergency, like insurance.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
in case something goes wrong.
In case something happens, you don't always want to end up with no money, because then you're just out of the game.
Yes, another very important thing is about the time management when transporting these stuff, because like some of the races are like really close to each other, like it should be like 1 week. So when we talk about like the transport, like engineers like want the part to arrive as quick as possible, as early as possible, as obviously the car is built from the ground basically, and they only have a limited time to fit new parts if they develop it.
Okay, so again, getting back to my point of the insurance money, that maybe a team keeps set apart. So if you've got any accidents from that, it's also okay if you've got maybe a week, and if it's like a really important part which takes time to build and put in place into the car, you might not be able to do that. So again, that adds up. And more is another thing is, I'm pretty sure a team carries more than just one type of that part. Carries several several copies of that part. So again, that adds to the cost, because if you look at it, it costs money for each. Okay, suppose you got a container. So you've got a fixed cost for that container, but if you exceed that, suppose you've got 10 container limit. If you go over 10, it becomes 11. Where's that money going to come out of? Insurance money, yeah. So if it's transported by, like, if it's 1 week away and it's pretty easy to commute to that place, so I think F1 teams would prefer to use trucks. One, is cheaper. Two, you can have it customized. You can, like, from the inside, you can have the truck customized to your liking. But if not, and you need equipment more quicker, you need I'm pretty sure it's transported by air, and air travel expense is very expensive. So it's, I think, £400 per kilogram of item, and again 40-50 tons of cargo gets transported. So if you look internationally, like Ethan said, you've got, I think, 24 races, you said. So out of those 24, I don't know how many of them are international, but just one way to get it transported by plane is in total £20 million.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it gets cut down from, again, 160 million. So you might think 160 million is quite a lot, but the money you can actually spend on the parts is very little. So we've been talking about all of this transport and stuff, but you also have risks to transport. What if the truck itself gets into an accident? Again, that's uncalled for.
Yeah, that's when like teams basically have like reserved of like the most important part of the car.
Yeah. So this is again building up to the point. This is why a team carries more than one part, and I did the research and I came through that. Okay, suppose you've got you've got a wing, yes, and they carry 5 of those wings.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to put all 5 into just one truck. They spread it out because if something happens to that one truck, it doesn't limit the use of the other wings because they've been transported into others.
Yeah.
So we've talked about if a part gets damaged and everything, but what is effectively the most important part of a car? It's the engine.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, obviously it's important because the engine is the main source of power of the car, and importantly, there's only a limited like a number that you can use per season, and if you exceeded that amount, you get penalty for it.
Okay, so again, this is I'm assuming all of this money, if you get penalized, this all comes out of the 160 million you're given from.
Yeah, I suppose so, and the main reason is like one engine doesn't last 24 races.
Yeah.
So it's not about blowing up; it's the wear of it. Like
yeah, so this is where again, as you said, the engine's not going to last for like 24 races.
Yeah.
So you got to accommodate yourself with enough time. So if something does happen to the engine, you can easily change it out.
Yeah, but also you cannot like keep expecting you have spare parts in there.
Yeah, you got to limit your use to the
that
spare
limit
parts.
is basically for your whole year. You can't use more than like that amount of engines
Okay.
throughout that 24 races, and you also cannot change things midway through a race. As in, like, you know, there's a qualifying and then there's a real race.
Yeah.
You cannot change things between those two like time period. If you do, you also get penalty for it.
Yeah. So again, as we said, the engine doesn't last forever. So let me just give you an idea of how much the engine costs. One engine itself costs £12 million, and but I'm guessing, at a minimum, if you even carry like 5 engines.
Yeah,
how much is that?
60 million.
And what was the cat?
And that's only the engine as well. Like you can take in like gearbox, also very important. That delivers the power to the wheels. Like you don't want your gearbox to fail every race.
Yeah, I think the gearbox.
You want it to last multiple races. Again, early changes can cause penalty. And how much is a gearbox? Like that's what I want to know. Like compared to an engine.
So it's not the most expensive part of the car, but it's still pretty expensive. It's I think £500,000.
Yeah, but I think you change that more than the engine. That's why the cost might just like.
So again, you might need more of them.
Yeah, you might need more of them.
So you've talked about till now. We've talked about how the car itself works.
Yeah, the mechanical part of it.
The mechanical parts, yeah, exactly. Now everyone knows how AI is progressing.
Yeah.
How software is so important. It's not possible to not use AI and software in 2026. So let me expand a bit more on the use of AI. So what it does is it generates thousands of scenarios that could happen in a race.
Mm.
So not only the driver but the mechanics, they also know what to do in certain situations. As I think I said before, so if I get down to the actual stat, it's £500 per set of tyres.
Yeah, that's not too bad compared to other costs. Yeah.
But I'm also assuming you'd need more than just one set of tyres for 24 races. You'd need how many tyres do you think could take up? How many sets of tyres?
Yeah.
In a race.
Around maybe like 13 sets of tyre for one race.
So you've got 13 sets of tires, and that's for one race.
Yeah, and
You've got 24 races.
you got 24. Yeah.
So that's a huge amount, and this is well over 2,000 sets of tires.
Yeah, and what the AI can do is basically like analyze the data for you. Like you've seen those like really cool animation that they're showing you between races, and obviously like you want the most grip as it's faster cornering, better acceleration, and it also like tells you what the right temperature needs to like for that race. You don't want it to be too hot, it's going to like wear down the tire very quickly. Yeah, this also like brings us back to the compound, like different tires like the wet, inter, soft,
So you
medium,
talked
hard.
about like
Yeah.
soft tires, hard
These
tires,
also
medium
uses
tires.
AI analysis to tell them, oh, that's the right tire to use for that day.
So like for the right terrain. So,
Not terrain. I mean, mostly like the surface of it, like
yeah.
temperature, pressure,
So it analyzes maybe like what the weather of the race
Yeah.
is,
and
then
it
tells
kind
you-
of analyze like how long that tire can last during that race, so you know when the pit
so
stop.
like the mechanics have an idea of
Yeah.
when they need to step in and change the tires. Again, if I go back to my point, I think we've all seen Cars 3,
Yeah.
and I think I remember from the movie that there was a scene where I think Lightning McQueen was going through the simulations.
Oh yeah.
And from there, you had virtual cars which were also competing with you in the race. So again, this shows the use of AI. Obviously, the cars weren't there in real life. The AI puts them in there. So the other use of AI is it analyzes all the races that have been up to date, and it looks at the performances not only of the car but also on the driver and how they do, and then it creates practice sessions where the driver could go through and hopefully make the race easier for them. But again, this technology isn't limited to one F1 team. I think every F1 team would have this at this stage.
Yeah, another really good thing about simulation is it can analyze opponents. So it's not just about yourself; it's about like how you beat others. You know. So using AI, you can like simulate how quickly that car is going, and like basically practice every situation that can happen. You know.
Yeah. So we're talking about AI and all of this, but where does this actually come from? Because an F1 team, they're most likely going to be specialized in the mechanics and the finances of the car, but they probably haven't thought about, because AI wasn't there 10 years ago. It didn't have a presence as big as right now. So what F1 teams actually do is they partner up with big companies and firms like I think you've all heard of like Oracle, Google, AWS. So what they do is, suppose Ethan's the F1 team, and I'm the software company. Ethan comes to me and says, please produce me an AI chatbot. Not a chatbot, like AI which can
like a software basically
software
to like
based.
analyze. Yeah.
And within that software, you also can hold the databases of all the previous races. So, as a company, I think it would cost around 5 million to make it, and then you've got more costs, like the tech companies take, because they're also a business. They also want to make profits.
Mm-hmm.
So, our final car at the end, I think it'll cost around £10 million for the F1 team. Again, now this is where you don't need AI, but it's beneficial. So this is where you can have the cost cuts, and you can decide if do you need an AI which is that level, or can you have something which is maybe a bit more in the middle, not too good, not too bad.
Yeah, talking about the different big companies.
Yeah.
They want to like have a sponsor of their business on the car.
Yeah.
So like, how would they do it? Like,
So what actually happens is these tie-ups with the companies, like I said, Google, AWS. What they might also do is they might charge you initially with a lower price for the AI or the software you want. But what they might, in return, what they might want is let them be a sponsor of the team. Because I think you've obviously, if you've seen an F1 race or any sports, you've got sponsors on them. And what does the sponsors actually effectively do? Now you might have you've got the budget cap of £160 million, but where does this money come from? Maybe 10-20 million the F1 team might have from previous races, or if it's a new team then they might not. They might only have 5 million. So it's the sponsors which provide you with this money, and from this money effectively your funds for the R&D, salaries and the travel we talked about, all of this money comes from there.
So how do they sponsor it? What do they put, like, it's just
so this is
sponsor stickers?
Yes, they use sponsor stickers, and you've got them on the car, but I think the aerodynamic matters quite a lot. You could maybe...
Yeah, so it's basically where you put the stickers, you know. You cannot, like, put it around, like, an air vent or something. It would affect, like, the aerodynamic and stuff, affect, like, wing and floor performance.
So does this placement of stickers directly impact the aerodynamics of a car?
Yeah, it will, but maybe not as much as you thought it would. Because, any wrinkles or, like, air bubble that are inside the sticker can cause, like, extra air resistance, which can basically affect aerodynamic, as we talk about, like, many times today.
Yeah.
So I think that's mainly all the, finance side of Formula One, like how you start
so how you implement the business and how you make it profitable.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you go back to the sponsor part, the sponsor also wants to make profit. If you're losing like 23 out of the 24 games and you're coming last, maybe you might not have that sponsor for your next season.
So let's talk about more of the mechanical side of it. Let's just not think of how much it costs and stuff. Let's just think of what it does. So let's talk about the chassis of a car. So obviously it provides safety for a driver, and it's like you want it to be as strong as possible while it being as light as possible.
Yeah. So this is back to the idea. You want to make it strong enough just so it can last the race. Again, you don't want to make it strong to have a strength to a level of like a normal car, because I'm pretty sure F1 cars are way more delicate.
Yeah, they're way lighter
cars,
than like normal cars. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about the normal cars, but how does it differ from like a normal car and like an F1 car?
So a F1 car chassis is made of carbon fiber. So obviously it's carbon fiber, it's very strong while being very light in weight, and obviously it's very strong, so it's designed as a monocoque to protect the driver in case of like an accident during the race. Yeah,
so this is basically to accommodate the driver safety, if I'm right.
Yeah.
So again, this brings in the costs, because you also have to pay the driver, and I think you yourself have to give. You can't give full insurance that the driver is going to live, but to a certain extent, you have to say that you've done your best attempt at providing the safety while the driver's racing.
I think in a race, I think you put safety first, obviously.
Yeah.
Instead of I'm quicker than the other car.
Because this is also a business where it's not always about winning. If you can gather enough money from sponsorship, then that's basically your job done.
Yeah, F1 is a sport where accident can happen very easily. Like one tiny mistake, it can cause like a lot of problem.
Yeah.
That's why teams have to put safety concerns at the very beginning. So
I don't know. I think I heard that I think the team that runs like the F1 tournament and everything.
Yeah, the FIA.
The FIA, I think they introduced some head protection for drivers.
Yeah, they introduced what we call the halo in 2018. Is basically like, before that, the driver's head is exposed to the outside.
Again, like, the driver's head is like basically the engine. If that's gone, like the driver's gone.
Yeah, basically have like it's like a T shape right above the driver's head, and obviously it's made from titanium, so very strong, and it can withstand a lot of impact during like a car flipped around upside down. So the first thing in contact is not the driver's head, is the halo that absorb all the crash and stuff.
So I don't know. This is pretty recent that I came across. This is not fully related to the driver's safety, but it's more about how the car looks. So I was looking, and I don't remember the exact name of their F1 team, but I think Duracell was sponsoring them. So what they actually did was they were able, in the part of the body.
Oh, I think it was the intake.
Yes.
Where they basically just put a battery.
Yeah, so they made this.
Yeah, it was Williams, yeah.
So they designed the car, so it had a part that looked like a battery, which is like phenomenal for sponsoring, and also makes the car look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like basically how you place the sponsors as well, if you talk about it. Like, you try to make it like blend in as much as possible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk back about the halo. So, we talk about it as very strong, and there's actually like different cases that actually like save lives of drivers. So I don't know if you remember in 2022 the Silverstone race, British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So the driver Joe Guan Yu, like, he got hit from behind and his car flipped around completely at high speed.
Yeah.
And it's because of the halo that basically saved him. Because can you imagine like the gravel?
Yeah.
And
so this is a very fundamental part.
Yeah, it basically absorbs all the impact.
Okay, yeah. So it's like, I wouldn't say airbags, but it does the same function as airbags, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's not instant as well. It's basically like provides safety throughout the whole race. And let's give another example.
Yeah.
Like, this is quite a famous one. Like another one in Silverstone.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen in 2021 got hit by Lewis Hamilton. Like, I don't know about it. Maybe it's not his fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a 51G impact. Like, you don't know what 51G is. That is equal to 40,000 newtons.
Yeah, so anyone who's not doing physics who might not understand this, it might sound really less, but it's a huge amount. You can't possibly think.
It's not even. It's like a crazy number. Like, no one think people can survive with like 40,000 newtons. Obviously, the driver have a part of it, like a very strong neck, basically, like help them. But 51G and the whole chassis basically protected him. Yeah. Which is quite insane if you think about it.
Yeah. So slightly controversial topic to finish off episode 1. So yeah, as I said, that was the end of episode 1. Hope you guys like that. Alright, bye.
Bye.